You see, life as an attractive person, people think it's always nice and fun and cool. You know, don't get me wrong, times it is. And I'm not going to say that I'm a self-proclaimed attractive person. I just look at society, how society treats me, and the opposite sex and how they treat me. And then they've put me in that category. So I just run with it. But I don't label myself that, you know, I guess that's just me being humble, or just me trying to be regular or whatever the case may be. But that's how I just label myself. But how society or the opposite sex, they put me in that category. But how the world treats attractive people, the negatives, the downsides, the downfalls is sometimes heartbreaking, especially if you're conscious, especially if you have a good heart, especially if you want to treat people right and you have good intentions. It sometimes hurts. People stereotype you, people think they know you, people project upon you, people hate you. And sometimes people would think that this would all come from you. Sometimes people think that, the people who are the rudest are the most attractive. And what I've come to find out is a lot of times the people who are the most, or the ones who seem to be unattractive physically by either society standards or by my own personal standards, and I'm talking about physically unattractive, these people seem to be meaner, ruder, more disrespectful. And this is just by my observation, what I've seen and noticed throughout life. And like I said, this is either what society has deemed to be unattractive and what I may feel unattractive. And we're talking about on a physical level. And we're saying physically unattractive, not saying that your soul can't be beautiful or anything. That's what we're just talking about the outside, because a lot of times, or more times than not, in this country and in the society that we live in, a lot of things are based off upon your physical features, your outside features. It's based upon those things. So those are the standards that I'm using this against. Doesn't mean that that's what I use against in my real personal life. It's just I understand the dynamics of life. I understand the dynamics of this world and society that we live in. So that's what I base it off of. And from my observations, from what I've seen and noticed, experienced, and lived throughout, it's a lot of the most unattractive people who seem to, have the most hate. And I think it's because as a society, we base a lot upon being attractive. So it's really just all projection. And it's more harder, I say, if you're intelligent and you are physically attractive. Because number one, people don't expect you to be physically, people don't expect you to be intelligent, because as a society, we have deemed attractive people to be not intelligent. The Paris Hilton complex. But now when you switch it up and you come intelligent and you're attractive, they're forced to not put you in a box. And now it makes them look at themselves as you becoming a threat. See, a lot of times that's what it is that you are a threat, because a lot of times we choose the most attractive over the unattractive. And now when you're attractive and you're intelligent, you deem or seem to be a big threat. Especially if you have some kind of youth on your side. This could either be age, your attitude, how you handle yourself, carry yourself, your goals, your endeavors. If you have some kind of youth upon your side, you're dangerous, especially towards the unattractive. So you have to understand, this is all about longevity. This is about life. This is about survival. And that's why they project that anger, that hate, that rage, that disgust upon you. See, I haven't seen or experienced many attractive people step down in order to insult or harm, quote unquote unattractive people. I haven't seen that. I haven't experienced that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I haven't personally seen it or experienced it at all, or to the level that I have it being in reverse of, it being in reverse where it's the unattractive doing it towards the attractive. And to deem it, I would just say a lot of it is just self-hate. Hate of thyself. Not being able to love yourself past the propaganda, past the marketing, past all these things that we've put up as a society that we deem to be attractive. I feel like these people haven't been able to see past all that, past the veil, in order to really truly love themselves. And because that happens, you don't know how to deal with it. You project your hate, you project your sadness, you project your whatever the case may be upon the other. See, it's not really the attractive person's fault. That's just how people were born. That's just how people were born. That's it. You know, you can't change that. But you can change how you treat people. You can change your attitude. You can change your character. You can change your heart. You can change your energy. But even on the job, if you're an attractive person on the job, you become a threat. Especially if you're an attractive person and you're intelligent, you become a threat. Don't let, somebody in a higher position be unattractive, or you resemble, a heartbreak that they may have had. You're done. You're fried, It's going to be hard. Sometimes it may not be, but it's going to be hard sometimes. Because if you're conscious, you understand that a lot of life dynamics play out whether we want to or not. Meaning, life dynamics play out throughout our whole lives, whether they're supposed to or not. Meaning, if you went through heartbreak, if you're unattractive and you went through heartbreak from somebody attractive, and now you're in a higher managerial position and somebody comes in who's unattractive, that deep down feeling and emotions, if you haven't resolved them or put them to the side, can carry out and blind you or put you in a fog over that person who came in who's attractive, who may be the best member upon your team. But because you're stuck in the fog, you're stuck in the days, you're stuck in hurt, you're not being able to see past these certain things, guess what? You may overlook that person. You may have resentment towards that person that resentment is really towards the person who actually did you wrong, but because you haven't resolved that pain and anger, like I said, guess what? You projected upon that other person. So attractive people wonder why they always get overlooked sometimes, or, people treat them wrong, or people treat them with disrespect out of nowhere. You say, excuse me, people act like they didn't hear you. It has nothing to do with you. People hear you. People see you. That's the issue. People hear you and people see you. They wish they didn't hear you and wish they didn't see you. As if their life would get any better. As if you're the reason why their life is in shit. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Some of these things were systematically done. But like I said, a lot of times these people don't love themselves. A lot of times these people don't know themselves. So they project that anger and hate upon you. It's not your fault. It's not your burden to carry. Again, it's not your fault. It's not your burden to carry. Understand that. So sometimes people think that the life of the attractive is all ice cream and roses. Sometimes it can be, but once you're conscious, it takes a little turn. It takes a little turn. Anyways, I hope this can help somebody today. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.